When we play any given video game, we go in with one pretty rock solid assumption, and that is that the game is going to be fair. We assume that the game is beatable given the tools that the game hands us, whether it be double jumping or machine gun chainsaws. We figure that the game developers are going to give us a chance to beat their game. So when somebody says, oh, the game cheats, it's rigged, they're usually met with, scoffing and derision. But for a moment, let's entertain this notion. Let's say the game is rigged. Let's say the game is actually designed to make the game more difficult, if not impossible, to win. Would it still be fun to play? Would people still play it? Well, actually, there's lots of people who play carny games, so I suppose there's always a market for that kind of thing. But what about gamers? I mean, gamers are super intelligent. They can figure out puzzles all by themselves. They would never be duped by large companies promising them the world, and they're also humble to boot. Surely all of them would be able to see through this flim-flam? No. Enter this patent filed by wargaming.net. Here's the number down here in case you guys want to look it up for yourselves, and I actually highly encourage you to read it, because this is their patented matchmaking system. Of note is this one paragraph that's buried way down there, so let me kind of paraphrase this one over here. Basically, their matchmaking system is set up that if it sees you winning too often, it's going to increase the difficulty, making it more likely that you're going to lose. But if you're losing a lot, it's going to put you into matches where you have a more highly likelihood to win. Now on paper it looks like they're trying to make people play to their level, and that would be pretty cool, but in practice it's putting mediocre players into situations where they just can't win, and it's just putting bad players in situations where they just can't lose. In doing the research for the show, I found a lot of players calling this the 50% rule because the game so desperately wants to keep you right at the 50% mark for wins and losses. In fact, a long time ago I did kind of an experiment with this where I played 26 games and I logged the win and loss ratio for each one of them, and my record was 12 wins, 1 draw, 13 losses. 6 of those losses came in a row right after winning 3 times. And what gets me is that wargaming.net has denied every step along the way that they actually do this, but if you play for a weekend, you'll see it for yourselves. Alright, so they stack teams. So what? It's not like it kills all the fun of the game, right? Actually, it kind of does. It actually kind of goes back to the assumption from the beginning of this show. When we start playing a game, we play the game with the assumption that the game, at least at some level, is beatable. Okay, wait. Oh, yeah, sure, there were exceptions, but that was during 1980s arcade culture, and that was sort of a ploy to just get you to plunk more quarters into the machine. Actually, that's kind of what's happening here, too. I mean, how do you keep a bad player happy? You artificially inflate their win-loss ratio so that they feel like they're doing well in spite of all evidence to the contrary. Exhibit A, my stat sheet. I have a win-loss ratio of 47%. I am not a good World of Tanks player. My win-loss ratio should not be that high. And yet, there it is. Because you see, happy players keep playing the game, and anybody who's in a business like this will tell you that the longer that somebody hangs around in your game, the more likely they are going to spend money on your game because they've invested time and some effort into it. So they feel like, hey, they've earned my money. But knowing the game is rigged kind of kills the fun for me because I feel like I'm being punished for winning and I'm being rewarded for losing. That's not right. And you guys complain about carrying noobs in raids? Pfft. At least Blizzard doesn't punish you because you can do a speed run. In my mind, wargaming.net has pretty much lost all trust, at least as far as I'm concerned here. And before you wikiheads start screaming, yes, I am painfully aware that there are some people who have a win-loss ratio over 50%. I'm also aware that one person can overcome a stacked team if you're just that damn good. I know, I've done it. But the fact they have an automated system like this makes me wary to play anything under the wargaming.net umbrella because they already have a system in place to rig the games. What's to say that they're not going to have a, I don't know, some sort of system to favorably rig the numbers into your favor if you subscribe to the system? I'm not saying that they do this, but I'm not saying that they wouldn't do it either. We enter a gaming experience trusting that the game will be fair. And that's a trust that some of these companies don't really seem to take seriously. I mean, hell, game fixing can now be patented. What I'm getting at is the next time somebody says this game is rigged or this game isn't fair, they might not be mistaken.